How about right here?
Again?
Can you hear me, Bill, and my stories?
Yeah. With no sauce or
Yeah.
with
No.
sauce? And here he comes. Has stopped recording. He was there and then he went away. Here he comes. Maybe. We do not have your mic.
You could turn your mic up louder. I can hear you.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
I can definitely hear you now.
Yeah, hear
Am
you
I too
now.
hot now?
Now you're too hot.
All right, well, I'll pull it back. How about all right?
Let me hear that again.
Can you hear me now?
A little more.
How about now?
More.
How about right here?
Again?
Can you hear me, Bill, and my stories?
Yeah. I think we can hear you. Okay, so
Wait,
I actually
wait.
started recording before you came on.
Can you hear this?
No.
No.
The sample buttons still aren't working. And now my dad's calling me. Yeah, this stupid Mackie thing. I mean, I got it because it would be great to take on business trips and stuff, and it's kind of a pain. Okay, we can start doing whatever. What was that?
Okay, so welcome to Two Old Guys and a Middle-Aged Guy Talk About Guitars and Gear and Stuff.
Wait, are you guys seeing me on the screen twice? I'm interrupting you.
No. Only
No.
For
once,
me, it shows me on here twice. Okay, sorry. Back to Bill.
we did start recording before the intro this time because I wanted to get Scott's honest reaction to how Tim looks, but Tim doesn't look as bad as he did, but he definitely has
Stitches are gone.
Story.
Do you guys want to see the best part, though?
He definitely has the best story, so we are going to turn this over to Tim. Look at this.
Car crash?
Can you see that one, too?
No, that one's not in the frame. Oh, boy.
Snowmobile crash?
Okay, tell your story.
Skateboard crash?
You want my story? Okay.
That's where we're going to start.
All right. So I was trying to be a good, safe individual by putting my Christmas lights up in October before it gets cold and snowy and icy. And I got about 90% done.
And wait a second, it's his own fault because he's doing Christmas shit in October. Okay, so there you go.
Well, these are the cool LED ones, Bill. I was going to actually do like orange and green and purple, like Halloween themed. Anyway, because the goal was to have them up before Halloween so I could do something fun on Halloween with them. So I got about 90% done 2 Saturdays ago. And then it rained like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And finally by Thursday, it was clear enough that I was going to get up and just finish the last like couple of strands. And my ladder, I had not moved since Saturday. And I'd gone up and down it probably 20 times on Saturday. So I don't think anything of it. I go up the ladder. I get to the very top. Everything feels fine. I go to take that final step over the ladder onto the roof, and the bottom of the ladder just flips out from under me. So I think it was.
How high were you up? How high up?
12 feet. So
do you have 1-story or 2-story house?
So I have a 2-story, but I was going up on the garage because the way the roofs are, once you're on the first story, you can pretty much access everything because there's only like a short lip on the sides where it can like connects from the upper roof to the lower roof. Anyway, so it's
right.
So I always go up at like the lower point and then climb to the higher point as needed. Anyway, so long story short, so the ladder falls. The best I can guess is that it was just wet under it. And I did not plan for that. And that was enough to, when I shifted the weight on the ladder from kind of going up it to getting off of it, that was enough just to push it out with the water and make the thing slip out right from under me. So needless to say, I fell, landed on my arm, which you saw, landed on my side, which you saw, landed on my face. And surprisingly, to the shock of everyone, I mean, they did take me into trauma too in the ER because of concerns of like, I didn't have a concussion. I never blacked out, but I, as you can see, landed on my face. And from a fall that high, they were pretty worried about it. But anyway, I went back in today to get the stitches taken out. And my buddy was actually the ER doctor who was there today. He's my neighbor who has the same lights, who is one of the people who recommended I put them on my house because he loves them. Hilarious story. So going back to the accident. So my 15-year-old was in the backyard with my father-in-law. So they were the first 2 people who found me. And fortunately, they told my wife, like, yeah, he's bleeding, but he's up and talking and can walk to the car and wants to go to the hospital. So like She wasn't too freaked out when she saw me, like, blood gushing, everything. But when we got to the hospital, my wife is taking pictures. And if you guys want to see them, I can send them to you, of all of the different stuff that happened.
No.
The cut up here went all the way down to my skull. They literally had to scrub my skull before sewing me back up. But she's taking pictures of all of this and like basically live texting our neighbor who's an ER doctor and his wife, because they're our friends. And they were on vacation, but they were curious. And so they got all the photos, like the play-by-play. But anyway, he was there in the ER today when they took the stitches out, and he and I were talking about it. And so what happened with the ladder is when it slipped off the roof, it was kind of in mulch, but then there's concrete behind that. And so the ladder actually hit the concrete and stopped and only dropped about 5 or 6 feet. So what happened is I went down, hit my arm. You can see the bruises there. And then my face where it cut me open. And then I bounced off the ladder, landed on my side, which you saw, and then rolled over, hit this arm where there's other scrapes. And I don't know if you can see them there, but other cuts on my other arm, and then kind of got the road rash on my forehead on the concrete. So it was my friend that was telling me in the ER today, I was really lucky because I really had like 2 6-foot falls rather than 1 12-foot fall. And he's like, that's what saved you from the concussion. That's what saved you from the broken bones. He's like, so yeah, it hurts really bad. But he's like, if you would have taken that full 12-foot fall on the concrete, he's like,
if you'd gone straight down the 12 feet, you would have been screwed.
Yeah, he was like, you would have been way more messed up. But he was like, so just, count your blessings that you landed on the ladder first, no matter how much it hurt, because that totally saved you from being a lot more messed up. So there you go. That's the story. I got messed up.
So I'm not going to show you guys any pictures.
Yeah, I don't want to see any pictures.
Yeah, right.
All I'm going to say is old men don't do that. We hire people to do that.
So, Scott, that's like the irony of all this. I put up the lights that you leave up permanently that are supposed to last like 10 years, thinking I will not have to do this again for 10 years. And then when they start to go out, I'll just hire somebody to do it next time. That was my thought process.
We hire people to put those things up. My wife's like, no, you're entirely too old to be climbing up a ladder. I'm worried about you climbing up the stairs. You're not going on them.
Oh, okay, but 2 old guys, middle-aged guy. So my wife was comfortable with me doing this for the last time in like 15 years, being like, this will be my last foray of going up and doing Christmas lights. But anyway, yeah, that was anyway, there you go. There's the story. I had more thoughts on it. I already forgot.
Prep for it. Prep for it. Prep for being an old man.
It's not nearly as dramatic, but about a week ago, I was getting ready to go out over to our buddy Bill McClurk's house to show him the same software we're going to be talking about tonight. And I couldn't find my flip-flops. And so I immediately assumed that the dog had taken them, because the dog does that. If I don't put them up high when I take them off, one of my 2 flip-flops is square across the back, not curved, because it was so chewed up that I just finally took out a knife and cut it off in the back. I know, I really need to buy new ones. So I'm looking all over the house for them. I can't find them.
Okay.
And so we have, in my wife's office, we have this couch thing that we call the throne. And it's like a chase lounge kind of deal. And we've had it for like 30 years. And it's basically the dog's couch at this point in time. And I knew there's toys and stuff underneath there, and they hide stuff under there all the time. So I go to look under that and see if my flip-flops are there. And I pick the thing up, I put it on its back, and there's like 12 bones and toys and all kinds of stuff down there. I get a broom and I sweep it all out, and I've got all these toys that are going out. And I'm about to put it back down on the floor, and I've got it in one hand as I'm going to lower it to the floor. Well, when I get I'm about 1.5 foot off the floor, and Freckles, the 90-pound dog, jumped on the couch. And it drove the leg of the couch straight down into the top of my foot. Not nearly as dramatic as Tim's, not nearly as good a story. I was just looking for flip-flops. But yeah, it was like it bled for 3 hours, and it's like, are we going to have to go to the emergency room? Is it broken? It just hurts like hell even a week later. So there you go. Scott's the only one who's smart enough not to get hurt since the
Well, I mean, I don't really have
He's
any good
also
ones.
the only one with life alert in case he falls down and can't get up.
I
Sorry,
did
Scott,
get
you were
knocked down
saying?
at the airport once.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, here's my life alert.
there you go.
No, it's not.
I was just joking. It's real.
No, my bright idea from turning old, we went to Cancun a few weeks ago, and you can get free wheelchair assistance or a ride on the cart when you're a senior citizen. I'm like, oh man, this has my name all over it. I'm gonna go from ticketing to like gate 64, and I'm not gonna have to walk at all. So we do the whole thing, blah 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 blah. You know, I ride a couple of wheelchairs. On the way back, we get stuck in Houston. Thunderstorm, rain. We got to go into baggage claim. There's all these people in the baggage claim. I'm just hanging out. I turned down the ride in the wheelchair. I just figured, you know, I could walk. It was only not that far. So after a while, the bags start coming down. I'm like, great, I'm going to get my bag. So I stand up. I'm up to the front. Here comes my bag. I go to grab my bag. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, this little girl comes and boom, bumps into me. And she's trying to grab her bag. Well, she knocks me back. Right behind me is a lady who's even older than me in a wheelchair. I hit the lady in the wheelchair and fall to the ground. Like people everywhere, suitcases everywhere. I'm laying on the ground. I'm like, oh my God. My little wife comes and picks me up. She's like, are you okay? I'm like, what happened? She's like, that little girl knocked you down and you almost got ran over by a wheelchair.
Define little girl. What are we talking about here?
Smaller than me.
Well, that's okay. But I mean,
But are we talking like
child or are we talking
4-year-old or
No,
like
no, like,
15-year-old or like
like a woman.
30? Okay.
Like 5'4" woman,
Okay.
Okay.
100 pounds,
At the
somebody's
outside.
wife. Somebody's wife.
All I heard is Scott got beat up by a girl.
Yeah, I got beat up by a girl. Well, I don't know. Did I get beat up by her or was it the old lady in the wheelchair?
I think it was the old lady in the wheelchair. Personally, and that's what I'm going to go with.
Moral of the story, when you have a free wheelchair ride, take it.
Every time. And it's like,
That's all I got.
we're laughing at this, but we just lost one of the rock gods in the last week or so, and because he fell
From falling
twice
down in his house?
So
in his studio.
I was going to bring that up. So I found out about that when I was in the hospital and I was reading about it, and my wife was there, and I was like, Ace Frehley just died from a fall. Anyway, as I was in the ER for a fall. But I do have to
I'm
just
gonna have to put up a dog gate in the second floor.
one thing that I've actually been really sad about this week is there is like a musicians group I'm in on Facebook, and so kind of the thing this week was everybody recording like their like a tribute or a cover of a Kiss song, kind of like the Ace Frehley tribute. And obviously, I'm in no condition to do that, and I've been kind of bummed all week because I wanted to, go do a Kiss cover, but maybe I'll do it next week. Maybe when my face is better. But yeah, definitely lost a rock god this week.
Yeah, I mean, my friend Larry posted something about it, and it said, when we get to age, balls are not a joke anymore, man. It's not like I mean, we're all sitting here laughing, and they're funny stories, and they're funny because we're all okay.
Sure.
But now he was, from what I understand, he was a stubborn son of a bitch, and he fell off of a guitar stool, vintage guitar stool with weak legs, and they wanted to keep him in the hospital. He said, "No, I want to get back to the studio." And so he went back to the studio and sat in the same damn chair, and it fell again. It was the second fall that killed him, not the first one.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you there will not be a second fall from the ladder. I learned my lesson. The first time hurt bad enough.
Yeah, it's not a good thing.
I have one of those weird sectional ladders where you can go on uneven surfaces because we have so many stairs, and I'm trying to replace the light bulb above our porch, which is above stairs, and it's like 12 feet off the ground. And I got up there and I can't get the old one out. So I'm like, I'm going to have to go put on safety glasses and go up that ladder and hit that thing with a hammer and break it, and then get in there with pliers to get it out.
Squirt, turn the breaker off, squirt it with WD-40 and wait a little bit and you should be able to just turn it right out.
I'm going to try that first. That's probably a better idea than broken glass falling from above your head.
See, I totally do the broken glass pliers.
You know, it's pretty dumb. It was the first thing that came to mind, right?
Well, but it's
nothing smart like put some WD-40 in it.
Well, I have that problem regularly in my kitchen now. You know, they make these bulbs that are LED and last like 10 times as long as the old bulbs, which is fantastic, except for they sit in there so long that they corrode. And then when they go out and you go to unscrew them, the glass just snaps off. So I have just become an expert with the pliers, but I should probably listen to Scott. He has better, probably safer options than sticking pliers into an outlet.
Oh, you know, I was an electrician before.
So Scott's been shocked enough times to know.
Yeah. Here's my shocking story. So I'm working at Embassy Suites at LAX. We're building the Embassy Suites, and I'm working for an electric company, and I'm in the ceiling there with the T-bar, and I'm doing the emergency circuit for all the power. If the power goes out, this emergency circuit kicks on. I got a wire nut, big wire nut, and I got to put this whole bunch of wires together in this thing. So I'm up in there, and there's this box, and my arm is touching the T-bar ceiling, and this arm is touching the T-bar ceiling. I'm up in there. All of a sudden, one of the wires pops out, touches my hand. Boom. I see blue lights, and I wake up on the ground. I blew myself up off the ladder and surged everything.
Yeah, but at this point, you were in your 20s, right?
I was in my 20s.
So you probably just got back up and went to work.
I did. And I didn't tell anyone because I'd have got fired if someone would have known what I just did.
Okay.
Hey.
Enough physical pain stories, right?
Well, I was going to say, can we talk about gear now or anything new or exciting?
Absolutely. That was going to be my story.
Nice. Can I just go first because I interrupted you?
So much.
No. I want Scott to go because he's got a manual. He's more excited than me. Let Scott go and then I'll go.
The new, it's not new, Behringer XR8 Digital Mixer Handbook. It's been out for a minute, and I have two of those things. So I thought I should break down and actually buy one and read how to do the stuff that I want it to do. Right. Yeah, because, I have one that I'm using as an in-ear monitor rig.
Right.
And sometimes we hire a monitor guy. Well, he wants to be able to monitor everybody's monitor. Well, I don't know how to tell him how to do that because it has like some kind of routing and blah, 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 blah. So now with the new Mark Baker XR18 Behringer Handbook, I'll be able to figure it out.
How much of it have you read?
I just got it like an hour ago.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yep. Amazon just delivered it.
I wish that I would read manuals, and I don't. I mean, Scott knows when we used to do gear reviews for Gig and everything, it was like I told people not to read the manual, and manufacturers got really pissed about it, but it was like, no, because we know 90% of musicians are going to take it out and try to use it without having read the manual, so we want you to do it that way. It didn't make me a popular guy.
Well, and most of the time, manuals don't have the information that you want.
And
especially in this thing, in this case, absolutely does not have, well, and you can't, I think it comes with a tiny little manual, but it does not have how to find out how to monitor everyone's aux end from one station.
Cool.
Well, I was gonna say I support Scott buying that. I hate that everything now comes with like a little quick start guide and then like a digital manual, like a PDF online. And I know some people just throw the PDFs on their iPad or whatever. I can't do that. So I have this laser printer that I actually got from an old company I used to work at that had like 3 like new toner boxes with it. And I've had it for years. And every time I get those PDFs, I print them all off. I punch holes in them. And I've got a couple of binders here because
How many pages?
I'll print like 200 pages because it's an old printer I just don't care about. And I have a couple just big binders that I've got all my manuals in because I just want the paper manual. I don't want the digital one. I don't want to have to
You
go
are my
online and try to
hero.
find stuff. I will just grab the binder and just flip through the pages. That's just,
You are my
it's just how
hero
I
for
am.
sure.
So I am so supportive of this, Scott. I would be excited about it too.
Man, that was great.
Okay, Tim, what do you got?
All right, so I'm not going to talk about a pedal this week. It's not that I didn't buy any more. It's just I'm not going to talk about it because I don't want to get made fun of. So, as Bill knows, I'm like a connoisseur of the classifieds here. So, Facebook Marketplace, and then also here in Utah, KSL. And I just,
Penny saver?
not Penny Saver, no, but, I go through the two big ones here. And I go through the gear section every day pretty much, just because. So, I was going through 2 days ago, and this electric guitar popped up. And Bill may remember hearing about this because I wrote an article back in the Live to Play days about nostalgia's role in music. And I wrote about my very first electric guitar, which was a Synsonic Terminator that came out of a JCPenney catalog and had a built-in speaker. And I was able to find a picture off of like Goodwill or something that we ended up using for the article because I couldn't find a picture of when I owned it. So anyway, it's like a 3/4 size guitar. I've never really cared to have it again. Like I've never really regretted getting rid of it. But anyway, one shows up that looks exactly like mine, and I start doing a little bit of research on it. The guy, I started texting him. He lived about 5 miles, like in the next city over from where I grew up. So I texted him and said, "Hey, where did you get that guitar at?" And he said, "Oh, I was teaching lessons over in Bountiful, Utah, which is where I went to high school."
No way.
And I had a student who had it. He'd probably had it for 10 or 15 years before that. So I sold it about 30 years ago, but we can account for about 25 years of this guitar has been within a 15-mile radius of where I grew up. So to add some more interesting facts to this, they only made this model for about 2 years. They were never in stores. They were always mail ordered. And in all my years of going through classifieds, I've never seen another one show up. I've actually only ever seen one other model here in Utah at like a thrift store I used to work at, and it was like an older model from the 80s. So I can't guarantee this is my first electric guitar, but I would say there's a pretty high probability this is actually the guitar that I sold back in high school, and it's just kind of been floating around with a couple of different 2, maybe 3 different owners for the last 30 years. So the guy was only asking for $50. He lives right by my little sister. So I was like, I'll Venmo you the cash and let her come over and pick it up. So I don't know for sure that it's my original guitar, but it's the exact same model, built the same year or within a year of when mine was made. It will probably be more of a conversation piece and something I'll play, but I was kind of like, at that cheap, I think I just have to go buy it back. So super excited about it. But here's the other piece that I wanted to add to this, and I want you to hold me accountable, and then you can make fun of me relentlessly when we record these if I don't live up to this. So I love to talk about, I buy gear for a lot of reasons. Sometimes it's just a good deal, or sometimes it just looks fun. Sometimes I'm looking for a specific sound. You guys know I love the Aklum pedals, which are, basically recreations of vintage Vox amps that the Beatles used to use. So I will really get into stuff that's designed to sound like a specific album or specific song or things like that. And I guess the other part I'd add to that, you guys know about my background in audio, but I also went to film school. I was only like a semester shy of having a degree in film, like a double major in advertising and film. That's a whole story for another day. But I just never get into video. I haven't really done any demos or reviews since the Live to Play days. I hardly ever record. And so my goal is once a month to do something in the area of audio or video. So my thought on this guitar is I want to get back together, probably tell the story of why I bought it, make kind of a little documentary, see if my parents have any photos, and then just play it and just like do like maybe a 5-10 minute YouTube video of this is why I bought this guitar. So that's, once I get it, that's kind of my goal on this one. But what I want to do is start using my gear to either do a cover of why I bought this. I wanted this sound. This is how close I can get, or do a demo, or tell a story, or maybe an original song. I don't know, but I want to make a point of at least once a month doing some media type project, audio or video related to my gear. And if I don't do it, I want you guys to mock me.
No problem. We're going to mock you anyway.
You can just be like,
mock you anyway.
You can just be like, hey, idiot, why'd you buy another pedal? You didn't even like demo the last one. See?
So mine, these are in the packages still because I put them back in the packages because I'm actually going to sell them because I don't have a good use case for them, but they're kind of cool. So these are called WIDI. What these basically do is send and receive MIDI over Bluetooth. So if you've got, like in my last band, the keyboard player had one that she stuck on the back of her keyboard, and everybody used Fourscore on an iPad. And so when she changed the song on her iPad, it would automatically change the patch on her keyboard too. So you can do things like that. I actually bought it because I was trying to make my breath controller wireless, and it worked. I got it to work, but it was just stupid and ridiculous because the breath controller needs power, which it gets over with a mid USB connection. So I ended up having to I had one of these and an external battery pack, and they were all like gaff taped together. But I could stick that in my back pocket and I could make the thing wireless. But it's like at this point in time, I don't know how much I'm going to be using it, so I'm getting ready to sell these. But they're kind of cool. MIDI over Bluetooth. I mean, not something that doesn't have a USB connection. So if like you've got a keyboard that doesn't have a USB connection, you can do that. So anyway, that's mine. It's not all that interesting. You guys are way better.
I think it's super cool. I actually am sitting here going, man, that actually would make sense to use something like that because I've got way too many wires around here.
Well, if I could have gotten it to work backwards from the way the keyboard player and the other guitar player were both using it that way, they would go to their iPad and change the song, and it would change the patch on her keyboard on his Pod Go because he's too cheap to buy a Helix. And I didn't want to have to mess with the iPad. I wanted to do the opposite direction. I wanted to be able to go to the patch on my Helix and have it change the song on the iPad. And
hold on,
never make that. I can never kind of figure.
Hold on. Pod Go, are you talking about the little tiny plastic one that has like 2 buttons on it and a couple of knobs? Pod Go?
No, the one that's like a mini Helix, but it's a pod.
Okay. Because I was going to say, I mean, I have the Pod Go for bass, like the $129 one, and it's super fun. But yeah, that's not something I would think I'd ever gig with. It's just fun to mess around with.
Well, I mean, to me, the problem is with the pod stuff is it just doesn't have as much processing power. And so you just don't get the richness of tone that you can get out of the Helix. And speaking of which, my Helix Stadium is on the boat. We were originally been told that we were looking at mid-October. Now they're talking mid-November. And my Sweetwater guy is going, yeah, man, I'd make those boats move faster if I could. That's coming.
Let's just hope that it's not mistaken as a drug boat and blown up.
Okay, well, it better not be flagged Venezuela or Colombia.
Hey, what's our topic on that joke?
Okay, so we started to talk about this last time, and I edited it all out because we couldn't get into it far enough. But I have been spending a ridiculous amount of time working with some AI tools for production. The major one I'm using, I'm going to try and share my screen here. Share my screen and a window, and it's that one there. So hopefully this works.
This is the most interesting portion of the podcast as Bill talks about how he shares his screen.
Yeah, right. Hopefully this actually works. So this is a web app called Suno. It's been around for a while. I first tried it about a year ago. Quint Randall is the one who told me about it. He's been using it for some songwriting stuff, and I was really impressed with how good a job it did. I'm using this differently from like the way. Okay, so the way they advertise this is that it's a way for people who have no musical knowledge or ability at all to be able to write songs, which frankly I find a little bit offensive, to be honest. And the app has been used to make a tremendous amount of slop. I mean, just unbelievable crap by people who don't know anything about music, who think they're going to be songwriters and let AI do all the work for them. But I'm using it in a different way. When Quint showed it to me, I discovered that there's a function that allows you to make a cover of a song. So you can upload audio and then ask it to make a cover. So that's what I've been doing. I've been uploading, in some cases, and in at least one case, it was just a very basic songwriter demo, click track, a guitar, and a vocal. And then you write, put your lyrics in, you write prompts, and you tell it what you want it to do. And I've learned a lot about doing that. I've now used this app to create demos that we'll use for the Bossa Nova project. And that the honest thing that scares me about it is, am I going to be able to get stuff that sounds as good out of real humans that I'm able to get out of this? I mean, I'm not joking. I wish I were joking. But so anyway, and then when I put out my record in 23, there was a song that Scott played on, he probably doesn't remember it, called Let's Fall in Love. And it was a song, lyrically, it's about that most tawdry of affairs, the wedding reception hookup. And I wrote it as kind of a heavier rock song. And in that setting, the subject matter and the lyrics, it just sounded creepy and stalkery. And it was like, I can't do this. So it didn't make the record, but I always thought it was a strong tune. So it sat for a while, and then I thought, if I added horns to it, maybe that'd help lighten it up. So I went in and played horns parts into it. I came up with a horn part, and I recorded that. And so like, okay, well, that might work as a demo for a band, but it's not releasable. And it just sat. And Quint reminded me about it again. I hadn't touched the program in probably 10 months. And so I went in and I said, you know what? I've got this thing. I said, I want you to take this and turn it into a country rock song. And I pulled it out and was like, well, holy crap. That's what it needed to be from the very beginning. I mean, to the point that I played this for a couple of people, and they're like, you can release this right now.
But why just look when you want to touch my baby? Come on, let's give it a try. You got me scheming, but I got you dreaming. Now, baby, I got it, you want it. Let's see if push comes to shove.
Do yet. So, but bottom line is, the reason I spent so much time on it is because my buddy Larry Hall gives me crap and tells me that every song I write is country. I think I'm a pop songwriter, and everything he says, that's a country song. And I'm like, that's not a country song. It's got major 9 chords in it. It's not a country song. And he'll go, that's a country song. And so I just went, you know what? I'm going to go with it. And did a good job on that. So I have been, over the last about week, taking all of the songs from my first record and feeding them back into the AI and basically telling it to turn it into a country song. And I may just release it. I'm not sure, but right now it's all sitting in a folder called Where the Road Goes On Forever, the Country Remixes 2025. Anyway, I mean, I want to do 2 things. First, I just want to kind of talk about what everybody thinks about this stuff.
I don't know that this has to do with the AI as much, but as you're talking about this, I'm thinking about the song from your first album. I believe it's called I'm Betting on You.
Yep.
100% I could see that as a country song. Like, that was the first one that came to mind. I'm like, oh yeah, I could totally see that. I bet that
And
one
it's-
turned out great with that
It's
kind of
a
the country spin on it.
song now.
If I try to explain it, I don't know where to begin. One day I just knew, and from then that's always been how it's been. And I know you'll be beside me as we navigate this city of sin. Got no idea what the turn is, but baby, you know I'm all in. 'Cause I'm betting on you. I'm betting on you. Yeah, I'm betting on you. Don't know what's coming, but I know what's true. Just deal me a hand, babe, I'm betting on you. Betting on you. Betting on you. Betting on you. Betting on you.
I mean, my wife was like, that was when Larry really liked that one. It was like, he was pissed off at me because his girlfriend at the time, now his wife, liked that song better than the songs he was writing. And he was like, yeah, it's a great song. But, I think I got a really pretty positive review in Music Connection, but they also knocked me for the fact that the recordings were demo quality. And I knew when I released this stuff that they were basically just demos, but I was done dicking around with it and I wanted to get something out. And I didn't know that I could make it any better. I played Betting on You for my wife after it was done, and she sent me a text that just said, I fucking love this. So yeah, Tim brought up a while back, there was like the whole motto of the show is no fakery. So what do we think about this on a moral level? And then we're actually going to try and do a song live. Scott sent me a demo of something he wrote a long time ago.
So I was thinking about this all day today as I told you guys that I'm going to try to start doing more. And one of my hobbies is since I'm not playing in a band right now, and I play guitar well, I play bass well, I dabble in vocals, I dabble in drumming, I dabble in keys. Sometimes I just like to take a song and learn everything. And so when I talk about doing covers and things like that, sometimes it's just like, I think it'd be fun to mess around with my gear and just play every single part because I can, and I'll do things like on my vocals, I have like a TC Vocal Live, TC Electronic or TC Helicon Vocal Live. And sometimes I'll use that for harmonies and things like that because honestly, I'm not the best at the harmonies. And so, I'll cheat with tools like that to get some of those, aspects to my music that maybe I couldn't do well on my own. But I've been thinking today and I was like, there's also a lot of songs I'd love to cover where like, yeah, like I could do the bass, I could do the guitar all day long, but like the drums are way outside of my skill. And I was actually like, I would love to upload some of those like demos in Suno and be like, okay, don't mess with the vocals, guitar, or anything, but add drums or things like that. And I was like, this actually is a tool that I think could help me quite a bit, where I'll do a lot of the initial work, but the areas where I'm lacking, whether it be original, whether it be a cover, I could actually see it being something that could help me put stuff together quickly and have it sound good. Right. And I don't know that I think that's cheating or fakery when it is original or a cover of something and you're putting the work into it, but you're using it to help in areas where you may not have a live musician who can jump in and play something you don't play.
And that's the way I look at it too. And I know there's going to be people who watch this who are just going to be morally opposed to this thing, just on a basic morality level, and they don't want to hear anything about it, and they think it's just evil. But I'll tell you something, through doing this stuff, it has become very obvious to me that for a lot of us, the only chance we have of staying employed is to learn how to make the AI our bitch. You know, there's no getting around learning how to use it at this point in time for anybody under the age of about 60. You know, if you're going to try and keep working, it's because it's just developing so fast and you can do so much. It's just kind of ridiculous.
Let me see, they had that commercial. Maybe it's only on YouTube. This guy's talking about teaching people over a certain age how to use AI. He goes, and kids are becoming millionaires and making corporations. He goes, and old people are using Chat GPT to look up the weather.
And he's not wrong, by the way.
Yeah, it's you have to learn how to use this stuff more than just asking it questions you could do on Google.
I can give you an example that's completely unrelated to music. This was with my professional career in advertising, where we were doing a pitch. And I can't go into too many details on the brand or what they do, but we were really trying to find some kind of unique data insights, bring them something that they had never seen. And, we were about out of time. We felt like we were struggling on it. And so I went and used standard tools, industry tools, to pull the last 5 years of Amazon sales in their category, looking at the top 10 brands over the last 5 years on a monthly basis, threw it into Copilot and told Copilot, map this out for me and then show me any interesting trends. And when it pulled all that data, within 20 minutes, I had a chart come back that showed me that one brand in this portfolio had been losing market share. One had been gaining market share. And if you looked at it from a 5-year view, you could see that they were literally competing against themselves and having one of their brands grow and one of their brands. And they were not eroding market share from their competitors. They were eroding it in their own portfolio. And that was like a mic drop moment in the meeting where they were like, holy crap, because we were like, this is what's happening. And now here are the solutions of how we can fix this for you. So you can keep this one growing, you can stop the bleeding, and you can be taking them from this competitor, this competitor, this competitor. And, when we were talking afterwards, I was talking to some of our data scientists. These are guys who, that's all they do. They were like, how did you get that so quickly? I was like, guys, I just pulled a ton of data from Amazon and I threw it into Copilot and asked it to find some trends for me and help me work on that. And, what I was able to do in 20 minutes, they were like, that would have taken us days with the amount of data we started with to try to put that together and build that story. I mean, it was just ridiculous how quickly I was able to, and it was one of those things that was just on a whim. It was like, I can pull this data. I don't know if there's anything interesting in there, but I'm just going to try because I don't know what else to do. We've got to find something. And that's what my team now at work is doing is, with a lot of these client meeting stuff, that's exactly what we're doing, is pulling these massive data sets that there's no way any of us could go through and make heads and tails of in an hour or two. It would take us days. And we're throwing into Copilot and saying, map this and tell me any interesting trends. And 15, 20 minutes is doing what would take us days. It's freaking amazing. But you're right. It's also scary. It's like if you don't know how to do that, if you're doing things the old fashioned manual way, like you're going to be outdated tomorrow.
You're done.
Right.
You're toast.
It seemed like you can use this Suno as like a record producer, instead of hiring
exactly
a multi-thousand. You use it as a producer. Like, here's my demo. I need you to produce this and make it a record.
And that's
could you use it for?
The way I think about it.
Could use it for mastering. Could you throw in a bunch of tracks and say, here are all of my tracks. Can you go through and master these so they fit together on an album? Volume,
I think
compression.
They have a site that does that.
Yeah, there are sites that do that. It's not in Suno right now, but
okay.
I'll tell you that when I first used it, it was version 4.0. By the time I tried it again, it was version 4.5. There was a huge difference. Now they're on version 5.0, and the difference between 4.5 and 5.0 is night and day, especially in things like vocals, which really sound like humans. I mean, you can hear breath. It really sounds like somebody real. And you don't get like drum parts that would be impossible for like a real person to play. I mean, there's one song I took this funk song that me and Scott did, and I said, I want you to make this a cross between Nashville Dirt and East Bay Grease. I want you to think of this as like, you know, a country band backed up by Tower of Power. And it gave me something that's actually really cool. Now, there's a drum fill at the end. I'm not saying that it's impossible to play. I'm saying that I only know maybe 2 drummers in my whole life who could play that fill in time. And I when I get done, I export it out and I put it into Logic, and I use the mastering tools in Logic, so I think it makes it just sound a little bit better. But I had tried to go, because you can export stems, and I had tried to go in and do remixing and do I want to add, and you know what? There wasn't anything that I added that made it sound better. I mean, the bottom line is what they're kicking out is got the, whatever that magic is that, you know, 40 years of radio hits that's already on it. So anyway, what I want to do is so Scott sent me a demo of a song that he wrote. And I haven't listened to it. I haven't done anything. I'm just going to show you guys the process, okay?
This is me and another guy, Jared Allen, that wrote all this stuff.
Now you're trying to outrun the rain, separating heartache from pain. But there's way too many pieces now, and girl, there's just no way. Man, down that rainy day.
So what we're going to do is we're going to start by hitting audio up here and upload. And I've already taken that and saved it to my desktop. It's called Outrun the Rain. It's right there.
This is going to be another part that's super interesting to our audio-only listeners.
Yeah, right? Our audio-only listeners.
As Bill is describing what's happening on the screen. Imagine you're looking at a browser window. It's black, and there's a lot of different things on it, buttons and cool stuff, and Bill's uploading to it.
So we're hitting save, and it just asks you what you want to do. For right now, we're just going to save this to the library. And it doesn't take a long time. It's an MP3. It should upload pretty quick. So then you can see down, well, you can see, unless you're one of our audio only listeners, there's a space here for lyrics and a space here for styles. The lyrics is where you put your lyrics in, and style is where you're going to describe the song. Now, I was using it the way I thought it should be used. And then Clint told me, hey, the hot tip is to take what you think it is and put that into ChatGPT. There's actually a bot that's specifically made to write prompts for Suno. So that's what we're going to do next. So, well, that's uploading, and it's already done. We're going to go to ChatGPT over here, and this is the Suno 5.0 prompt generator. And I'm going to go in here, and I am going to grab Scott's lyrics, which I have over here.
Don't worry, audio listeners. We can't see what Bill's grabbing right now either. It's on a screen
right
that
now,
he's not sharing with us.
Window,
so we are as in the dark as you are.
Okay, so I've got those copies.
Picture this, a man on his computer working at a word processing program.
So we're going to go and paste those in. Now, Scott, tell me about the song. What's the style?
This is Southern rock song in the style of like the Outlaws, Leonard Skinner, Charlie Daniels, you know, those kind of
Southern rock song in the style of the Outlaws, Charlie
Molly
Daniels.
Hatchet, Skinner, you know, those kinds.
No, it's Leonard Skinner. Skynard. What's the instrumentation?
Guitar, bass, drums.
Any keyboards, any piano or organ?
No.
Anyway, so just a very straight ahead. If you could describe what the lyrics are about, how would you describe it?
Well, it's Jared describing him being in love with somebody and not working out and kind of outrunning the pain, but it's outrun the rain.
Rain is a metaphor.
He
For
wrote
his
some
tears.
amazing words, man. Every day he would come to my house and he would sit there and he would tell me these stories, and it was his actual life. I was just like, wow, this is amazing. And we would just sit here and write songs. And over a whole year, we wrote a whole record. It just
So
never.
now we
If I were to
put-
write about my life, it would start with, I fell off a ladder. Really hurt. I know what I'm doing with Suno tomorrow.
So now we had taken the description of the song and the lyrics. So when we just put the lyrics in, it came back and it says, that's a strong classic Heartland lyric. The real Rain and Regret song is lean and straight to the point, like something you heard in the pocket between Travis Tritt and Chris Stapleton. Weather imagery, road metaphors, and raw heartbreak. And it gives us an idea of how we do the prompt.
Wow.
And then we gave it some direction, what Scott just told me. It said that's a great direction, Southern rock heartbeat, full of twin guitars, thunderous drums, a man trying to outrun both the weather and his own memories. Here's the refined Suno version 5.0 prompt built around the Outlaws, Charlie Daniel Band, and Leonard Skinner energy. No fluff, just the right kind of grit and tone. So here's our new prompt, and now it's asking me, would you like me to lay out the full lyric structure next, arranged for this Southern rock treatment, including cues for guitar breaks and the stormy outro? So we're going to tell it, yes, we would like you to do that.
That's amazing.
I know, right? And it's going to take about probably 10 or 12 seconds is all it usually takes.
This is some stuff like a whole team of songwriter people at a record label would have to do.
And I mean, that's the way I look at it. It's like, I'm getting results that sound like records that were made in the 70s, and they're not made that way anymore because it's too damn expensive.
Yeah, who can afford
16
15?
people.
Exactly.
Exactly, on a session. And I feel like it's like, as a songwriter, that I get to like write something and create a basic demo and then go and sit in a studio with a great producer with whatever studio musicians you could possibly need and let them do
Sure.
their thing. So,
Sure.
okay, so here's what it's done. It's given us a title. It's given us a BPM and a key. It's given us a structure, and it's laid it all out, okay, where the guitar solos need to be and everything else. Now, the next thing is ask me if we wanted to create a 1-paragraph press blurb. We're not going to go down that road right now. So what we're going to do.
Is it time to revive Live to Play and just let this write our press burbs?
It's like you actually could.
It's like, then there's your marketing team right there.
Dude.
No,
I have
marketers
got to
matter. Marketing lives matter.
It output an interview with me that's like, this is appropriate for American Songwriter or one of these magazines. And it's like, I hadn't told it anything. It took it all from the lyrics and from the background information I gave it about myself.
That's amazing.
So we're going to take that. So we've got the lyric now. We're going to go back to Suno here, and we're going to say, okay, so here's Outrun the Rain, where it says remix edit here. We're going to tell it we want to make a cover. Now, it's already put the lyrics as it heard them in there, but we want these ones that ChatGPT did because it's mapped out much better. So we're going to put those in there, and it's got everything you could need. And we're going to go back to ChatGPT, and we're going to grab that prompt, Southern Rock Ballad, and copy that. And we're going to go back to Suno, and we're going to paste this in here. Now, it's already put something in. And Scott, is it faster than 95? Is it like 120?
It's a pretty up-tempo song.
Okay, so what we're going to do is because ChatGPT hadn't actually heard the song. So what we're going to do is we're going to paste in its prompt, but then we're going to go back and we're going to change it. And because it says it's in G major, and Suno, when it looked at it, says it's in E minor. So we're going to do that, E minor, and then to 120.
It's definitely in G. It's definitely in G.
Oh, it's in G? Suno gets shit wrong all the time. And you really have to go in and really look at what it does, because it will change lyrics sometimes too. Now, the really hard part about that is sometimes we'll change lyrics and I'll have to go, shit, that's better.
I wonder what it would sound like in E minor, because it's not really a minor key song, but I mean,
Okay.
it could be dark and depressing in E minor.
Okay, so there's some advanced options down here, and what we're going to do is we're going to tell the vocal gender is male. So there's a weirdness slider here, which is expected results or unexpected results. I don't really like to go very high on that. I know some people do. The style influence, we want the style influence to be pretty high. This is a Southern rock song. We don't want it to come out as something else. And the audio influence, we're going to go moderate. Okay? Now, everything's done. And what we're going to do is we're going to go down here, this little button that says create.
Oh, there's a spinning
I'll be
icon
the only
that
one
shows
who
it's
knows
working.
what it sounds like.
And you can see, okay, you can see how we got little thing down at the bottom that says couldn't generate that because it had Leonard Skinner in it. I guarantee you, we take out Leonard Skinner and everything else is going to be fine. It'll allow you to put some artists in there. It won't allow you to put other artists in there. Who do we go with instead of Leonard Skinner?
The Outlaws,
We already have the Outlaws and Charlie Daniels.
Molly Hatchet.
Yeah, let's go Molly Hatchet. Hatchet, right? Now let's try that again. Create. And it really is hit and miss. It just depends. Like on one of the country things we did, it said that it wanted to be like Chris Stapleton, which I wasn't allowed to have in. But it did. Everybody else is fine. I think we changed it to like Keith Urban or something. So, and you see it's created 2 covers already. It's not done. But you can see up here, it's actually generating artwork at the same time.
It's a road with a
crazy.
storm. Very creative.
Now you're trying to outrun the rain, separating heartache from pain. Too many pieces falling down now. Man, it's that rainy day again.
What tempo is that?
I'm going to say that's closer to 95.
Yeah, it's probably like twice that speed. That makes it like a ballad,
Power ballad.
and it's more of an up tempo.
We can do things like, no, here, let's, you know what? Let's really quickly, let's tell it to follow the audio influence really high and take the weirdness down and do another one.
Yeah, 'cause the tempo's got to be at least 120, 125.
I actually like it at that tempo, but you're the writer.
Well, because you like slow songs.
I do.
I'm more like, in that thing you do. I don't want any of this lover's lament crap. You're going to do, happy, peppy, zippy.
Anthem. Yeah.
In G major at 120. Well, that's then we're actually going to hit create one more time.
Running that rainy day. Trying to outrun the rain. I'm trying to outrun the rain. Outrun the rain.
So can you take the song it created for you and then go and refine from there? Or do you have to kind of create like a new version every time?
So no, you actually can. So I'm going to take this one here, and one of the options you can do now under this is open in studio. Now you have to have the paid version of the program to have access to studio, and it is in beta. It's like literally version 1.0. And so it's getting better all the time.
How much is this whole program?
It's $120 for the year.
So nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like peanuts compared to having a producer.
Yeah,
if you
right?
can get it to do what you want it to do.
And the thing is, so if you look in here, so it looks kind of like a DAW. You can go, if you choose that, then you can tell it to extract stems, and we're going to tell it to extract the detected stems. So it has found vocals, backing vocals, drums, bass, guitar, keyboard, percussion, strings, synth. It's found a lot of stuff, and that maybe you didn't even want. But once it's done, you'll see you can take all these tracks and put them into studio, and it looks just like a DAW.
Oh, that's
and then
amazing.
and then you can do whatever you want with
Can you export those to your own DAW?
Yes, you can.
Oh,
Yes, you can. So you can export all the stems to your own DAW and then do whatever the hell you want with it.
that's amazing.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty sick. So now we
While you were doing all of that, I was not paying attention, and I was texting my child to make sure he did his dishes before going to bed. Just kidding. I was listening. I just hadn't said anything for a while and felt like I needed to interject something useless.
So, I mean, but the bottom line is you can do a lot.
You just need to learn how to tweak it, and then you can use it as your own record producer.
I mean,
I'm with you on that.
I mean, I think the consensus here is if you're using it as a tool to enhance what you're already doing, that it's awesome. If you're using it to write stuff for you and trying to take credit for not doing anything, like a lot of college students I've worked with,
then you're
basically that, and also you're setting yourself up for failure because you're putting an unrealistic expectation upon yourself that you may not be able to replicate, probably can't replicate in a professional environment
ever.
And
then all true. The last thing I want to close with, so no surprise, Suno is being sued by all the major record labels.
Hey y'all, just adding here as I'm sitting here editing this whole thing. Word came down in the last couple of days that at least Warner Music Group now has settled with Suno in terms of the lawsuit. And what that means, Suno's saying it's going to mean an even higher quality engine. We'll have to see. But bottom line is the first domino has fallen.
which is really something I expect. But it's saying that it's copyright infringement because it was trained on millions of songs that have been uploaded to YouTube. So I'm going to ask both of you guys a question. How did you learn how to play a guitar?
listening to records.
I learned by downloading tabs off of Olga, the online guitar archive, which was like the original tab website back in about 1994, 1995. And they were just like fan submitted that were basically typed out in like Microsoft Word. But yeah, that's actually, and either that or you get the lyrics and they just throw chords above them. But that's pretty much what I learned from.
But we all learned from listening. When you really come down to it, you heard things and you emulated things. And I know I did. And it comes down, I mean, even songwriting, I listen to a lot of music and you absorb stuff and you go, oh, what did they just do there? What's that chord voicing? Oh, it went up a minor third there in the middle of the bridge and it's really cool, and then came back down. And you learn that kind of stuff. So what's the difference between us listening to the music and emulating and learning how to play it that way and the machine doing the same thing?
The machine, I don't know. I'm thinking that we actually had to really figure out how to do it. And the machine, someone programmed the machine ultimately to figure it out.
That's true. But the machine listens to stuff and emulates.
So, but
Yeah.
the hard thing, the thing for the machine though, I think here's the big difference is each of us here, if we were to sit down and be like, all right, everybody go take 2 weeks and write a song and we'll come back and see what they sound like. All of us are going to have probably very different styles, but they'll be clearly influenced by what we grew up on, what we learned on, whatever. If we're talking about that, I mean, realistically, based off the bands I've played in, I'm probably going to be more of the pop punk era, and my lyrics are probably going to be a little bit silly because that was really like the peak of my performing songwriting was late 90s into the mid 2000s when kind of the emo genre and pop punk were really big, and that's what I played in, and that's what I learned to write. And a lot of what I learned to play, obviously everybody knows I'm a huge classic rock fan, but the Weezers and Green Days and Blink-182s and whatnot of the world were really what I was playing in cover bands all through high school into college. And so that's going to be where I come from. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I think all of us at some point are going to have some level of limitation, because we can only emulate what we were able to learn. And I think the thing with Suno or something like this is it can learn from literally every song that's out there. It can emulate everything that's out there. I mean, I get your point, and it's hard to say, well, yeah, it has an unfair advantage because it can have more than we can have. But also I think you're going to run out of creativity, because all it can do is emulate, whereas you and we can emulate, but then we can also add in our own personal something different, and AI is never going to be able to do that. Well, at least
which is
not
why
today.
which is why I'll never say use it to write. I'm just saying I'm using it to produce.
Which I think is awesome. I'm going to have to try it
I
out.
like it as a tool, like a backing track, It's a tool. It's not supposed to be the meat and potatoes. It's just supposed to be another tool to help you get to the end game.
And we'll see how it goes. I mean, that's the way I used it with the Bossa Nova stuff. We created stuff that I can send to singers now, so they really understand what I'm going for stylistically. And then they're going to put their own spin on it too. But as a tool, I think it's ridiculously helpful, ridiculously valuable. Last thing I want to say before, and just because Tim brought it up about the different things we listen to, I use this to take a song from an idea at 7 a.m. on a Sunday morning to a fully produced track by 8 p.m. on Sunday night. Song's called Typical Suburban Sunday Barbecue. It's a female vocal sung country song about a backyard barbecue. I played it for Andrea Bensmiller, and I said, yeah, it's country. And her response is really good. She goes, it may be country now, but it was top 40 in the 70s. And that's right, because that's where my head is. I mean, that's where I grew up. I'm a child of the 70s and some of the 80s, and that's never going to go away from what I do. But I thought it was really interesting. And the ability, as somebody who has been trying to finish this Bossa Nova project for 3 years, to be able to go from an idea to a produced track that I am proud to play for people in a day, there's no words. There's just no words.
Sunday after church at my sister's place, all the kids are running straight for the pool. Dad's already by the grill with a beer and a grin, and his apron, it says barbecue food. Katie walks in with her broccoli plate. Mom says, bless your heart, but then she sighs too. Kate's married to my brother, so I play it polite, but I'm thinking that she don't have a clue. Taylor's on the HomePods, football on the tube. Kids are going crazy, but that ain't nothing new. I just smile and thank the Lord for a perfect afternoon. Just a typical suburban Sunday barbecue. Sister Sarah's in the kitchen with a knife in her hand. Her potato salad, it's almost through. She and the kids got the house when Kenny ran off. That girl's apartment's now his castle for sure. And Tommy's been gone since he came through the door, trailing Katie barbecue. But I'm still thinking about the gig last night. A whiskey smoke and a neon glow. Crowd was loud and rowdy and they wanted to fight. But up there I was queen of the show. I'm still a little hungover and Mom knows for sure. Sad sympathy creeps into her eyes, but she knows I won't quit, that my ambition's too much. It's my dream, and that dream never dies. Dad slips a dog to Kenny's pit bull named Dutch, and that dog goes running, still proud and true. Mom shoots him bad look, Dad just shrugs and moves on. Says more dogs than buns, what can you do? Sun's going down, so it's time to clean up. Tomorrow's the kids' first day of school. They're hugging goodbye while I'm checking my phone. There's an open mic that runs till 2. Tay-Day on the home pods, football on the tube. Kids are going crazy, but that ain't nothing new. After last night, it's just what I needed to. A perfectly suburban Sunday barbecue. Get in the car now. Don't make Tommy come there. Come say goodbye to your auntie. Y'all got a long drive. It's time to go.
Welcome to the future.
And that should be our ending. Welcome to the future. Okay, guys. Well, it's been interesting.
My mind has been blown.
There we go. Yeah, hopefully people will find really cool ways to use this. I know I'm trying to. And that'll be it. Toodles.
Adios.
See you guys next time.